Thursday, August 1st. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. We are live on location, out and about on a summer road trip. We're at Kinden's Bakery and Café today in scenic Lewisport. You can hear the hustle and bustle around us in this cafe. We're going to talk about tourism and economic development for this community as part of the Signal's summer road trip. Yesterday was amazing. Twillingate and Lewisport, also amazing. So sit back, take a listen, and we're going to get into dive into the conversation. All right, folks. So for day 2 of 2 on the road, I'm going to bring Haley Kinden into the conversation. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'll get to move behind the microphones. We got a table of people. We got a coffee shop full of folks. Describe the scene of where we are, because we're at your place.
Yes. So you're at Kinden's Bakery and Café in Lewisport. We've been here since December 2019. We are a full-blown cafe. We have a restaurant, full menu here. We got an outdoor patio that looks over the biggest marina in all of Atlantic Canada. And yeah.
Yeah, we would have been outside today, but my feet are still burned from my show.
I know, it's been quite warm in central Newfoundland.
No more, my feet can't take it.
Yeah.
I guess I could have wore shoes. But tell us about how this place got started, because you were a paramedic before, right?
I was a paramedic. So I worked here for several years as a medic. I kind of got into the paramedicine doing first aid in high school and working as a lifeguard. So I worked as a medic for 5 years here in Lewisport and loved the job, but I have 3 young kids and the hardships and the mental health kind of took a toll. So I took a bit of time off and I kind of was trying to figure out what's next for myself, and this little seaside shop came up for rent, and someone posted online, what a nice cafe that would make, and I was like, oh my god, it's me, I'm going to do it. So I contacted Lindsay and Betsy, we wouldn't be here without them, and hit the ground running, and within 6 months it opened. So it was pretty quick.
It's so great to have organizations like Enlow for this type of thing,
oh my
right?
goodness, yes. Yeah, I'll forever sing their praises.
And this is not like... This is a family thing for
This
you,
is
right?
a family
it's not
thing,
like you just walk into baking and open up a cafe.
No, so my grandfather immigrated here from Denmark to Toronto way back in the day, and he opened Danish Family Bakery there in Etobicoke. And then my dad took that over when he was 15 and turned it into Little Denmark. So it's always kind of been in my blood, the baking, and I used to do like cakes for friends and stuff like that, and my husband would always be like, you're going to turn this into a job one day, and I was like, never. I was too afraid to turn a hobby into a career. I was scared it was going to take a lot of the enjoyment out of it. Yeah. But here we are, and once I was looking for that new opportunity, we hit the ground running, and I've never looked back, and I've never been happier. It's just definitely a passion that I've fulfilled, and yeah.
Hanging out all morning, you seem really happy.
Yes,
you seem like
definitely.
a happy person.
Definitely, yeah.
Sometimes around people like, I don't know how happy you are, but you were like,
definitely,
you were chatting all morning and stuff. So.
Dream come true.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Tell me, we're going to cycle through a bunch of people
of
here.
Course,
of course, but before we do, talk to me about some of the efforts you've put in around tourism and just that file.
Totally. So like when I opened up here, this downtown core, this used to be a booming area town, and it's kind of moved uptown. So when I was looking for a place to open the bakery, my heart was set down here. We're located on the biggest marina in all of Atlantic Canada, and people were getting off their boats, and I said I'd like to have a place for them to go. So we're right on the entrance there to the marina. And over the years, we see so many tourists here from all over the globe. Starting really early in the year, we had people here today from Europe, Australia, all over the States, and so tourism is a big part of Lewisport and a big part of especially our summertime season. So over the last few years and kind of seeing that develop, I ended up going to an AGM meeting for Adventure Central in the spring. And I left feeling really motivated to kind of do more here in the town. So I struck up conversation that same night with Greg Feltham of Islands Villa. And we said, we could really have something on the go here, that is very a tourism group that's tourism focused. So within a few days, we started getting business owners together, like Stacy here, and within probably a couple weeks, we had a board of directors. Within a month, we had a constitution, and in the spring, we just incorporated LTAC, which is the Lewisport Tourism Action Committee. We're running under Destination Lewisport, and we're getting ready to show you why you need to come here, you need to stay here, and everything there is to do in the area.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for setting the whole table for the conversation.
Thank you.
This is
No
great.
problem.
And we're going to be dipping back in because there's a few other stories I'm going to get from you as well.
Of course, there's lots of fantastic people.
And we're going to talk about the marina shortly along with everything else. But first, I want to bring Barry Porter over here. Come on over. So I got an email. So you sent me an email because you're listening to the show. Thank you for always with the show feedback and just for listening. But you sent me a note saying, hey, you're in town, let's try to meet up. And I was like, don't know if we can do it, but come over and have a coffee. What are you at today?
I'm drop down for a quick visit, see you guys live. I've been talking to the show for years on the radio, on the phone, but
It's like finally seeing Metallica.
see, well, not quite, but but just drop down on bike to pay a quick visit and see what happens.
We were in your old neck of the woods yesterday. Tell us about the job that you had there.
I worked at Long Point Tullingate for 7 years. I was a lightkeeper there, and actually I lived in the lighthouse from 1984 to 88. I'm the last official lightkeeper to ever live in the lighthouse.
Yeah.
It's still a main lighthouse, but nobody lives there anymore. So I got good friends down there, and it was a great place. Good experience.
Yeah.
Seen a bit of wind.
Yeah, I can see how it could be a little windy.
A few storms down there, but great place. Yeah.
Great view.
Yeah, great view.
But I think that's common with probably many lighthouses.
It's a good office.
Yeah, good
when you look
office.
out and see dump packs and icebergs floating by. So yeah, it was a good gig.
What's summer for you now?
We're relaxing at the cabin, the wife and I and my beagle, and we're in the pond and just enjoying, both retired, we're enjoying life. So take advantage of it wherever we can.
So what are so in this whole region, or this whole area, what are your favorite bits for stopping in and around or hanging out or doing?
Kinden got the best coffee in town.
Good answer.
and treats. So that's all I up there, but just the natural beauty, the bay, everything revolves around the water here, so it's a nice spot.
And tell folks, I'm just looking behind you there because your book is on the bookshelf. Remind folks of your book because it's still available.
My book is still available. Adventures of a Lightkeeper, published by Flanker Press. Came out 2 years ago, and it's still got legs. It's still got interest. So
it's a really interesting book, really interesting topic, right? This stuff, especially now, is like where we're losing so many lightkeepers, right? To read about that,
it covers my 23 years working on the lighthouse, right? And tells about the storms, the isolation, automation, a couple of ghost stories, a love story, and a few rescues. It's a good read.
Yeah.
Good local read.
And last question, like on the automation side of things, when did you realize things were changing?
My first day of work.
Yeah.
When I started, the co-worker I worked with back in 1983, he said, "Barry, there's no future here because we can be automated any day."
Wow.
And that hung over my head for 23 years.
Wow.
But it's still going.
Yeah. I appreciate you stopping in.
Okay, nice seeing you guys.
I want to talk about the marina, and I've got Brian Snow's hanging around, looking off out the window.
Just having a look.
Yeah.
Watching traffic.
Watching traffic, right? Tell me about the marina. Tell folks about the marina. Pretend we're talking to people who've never ever seen it before.
Well, anyone that hasn't seen it, I would highly recommend them drop by Lewisport and visit. We are home to about 175 to 200 vessels. Local people, both actually people from all over the world as well.
Yeah.
Got to meet some interesting people over the past 9 years. It's wonderful.
How'd you get this job?
I
applied for it. I know you
I
applied
did.
for it. I know that. How does one get a job like this?
I have no idea. I applied for the job.
I was the best candidate.
Fortunately, I was the.
Yeah.
I had.
You were the guy. Yeah.
And I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Yeah. So what do you do for what does the job entail? Like day to day, what do you got to do?
Day to day, well, in the spring we launch vessels.
Yeah.
We look out to our customers. There's always issues if you own a boat.
Yeah.
You certainly know that there's trouble coming from somewhere.
It's just you just start shoveling money into the ocean.
That's exactly what you do. I don't mean to down people, but that's
no.
what
Now,
you
if
do.
you've got the money for it, great. Because it's a lot of fun.
It's a big industry.
Yeah. Where do you see things going then? Like you've got, so if it's the largest marina in Atlantic Canada, right? That sounds like a lot of potential to me.
It is. It's the largest under one roof. There's areas in the country and that have numerous smaller facilities.
Yeah.
But we do have the largest one-yarded marina.
It was nice. So when we rolled in, we parked here, we walked out back, and we took a little walk around, right? So you're seeing sailing vessels, you're seeing some decent-sized yachts kicking around, some other types of pleasure vessels, right? So you've got all of that there. What's the plan now from where things are at to next year, 5 years? Like, is there a plan to expand this thing or change it, or is it good as it is?
There's a development plan starting soon for some big development. And we have some infrastructure things that we want to get cleaned up and or expanded on, made better.
And I'll talk a little bit about that.
You know, we got the mayor here.
Yeah, the
Freak is
mayor's
going to
here,
come
the
by
mayor.
down a sec.
The mayor holds purse strings.
Actually, come on, let's bring the mayor into this conversation now too, because it's. I find it interesting when we talk about economic development in, especially rural Newfoundland and Labrador. Sometimes different, depending on what the community is, there are different highlights, right? And here with a marina, that's a big thing to have, right? Not everyone has it, especially not the biggest in Atlantic Canada. So, Mayor Freak, tell us about where things might go with this and the development of the marina.
As Brian said, I guess the marina has been under development for a number of years, and Betty Clark is here, who was mayor at that time,
Yeah.
and was certainly responsible for attaining the funds, probably the initial $1 million or so to bring it to where it is today. From our perspective, we recognize that the marina is one of our biggest assets.
Mm-hmm.
As a town, we just purchased it from the federal government midwinter, and we do have a business plan in place, and we're in the process now of hiring a development officer, for lack of appropriate title.
Yeah, sure.
That
to
will
do-
work, collectively with Brian and staff and so on around where we want to go with that facility, whether it be green space, like Brian said, infrastructure needs, and put the marina on the map a little further than it is right now.
Yeah. And Brian, I know you got to go somewhere now shortly, but before you do go, what's like for the rest of your summer? Talk to us a little bit more about the work you're going to be doing around the marina.
We do some upgrades. We have quite a bit of equipment that needs maintenance and requires attention.
Yeah.
In another few weeks, we'll be welcoming in people from all over the world that are spend the winter with us again.
Yeah. What's that like? We like running into folks from all over the world, or just sailing in and being like, "Hey,
It's
we're gonna."
the greatest feeling in the world. You're meeting people, you're getting stories, sharing stories. I can't put into words what it means to be able to have the opportunity to do it.
I guess if you're in maybe Gander, you can feel this way, obviously with the airport or any place with an airport. But when you have the water there this way, the world is just right there. Right?
There's nothing beats the water. No.
I appreciate
Particularly Notre Dame Bay.
Especially Notre Dame Bay, which
Yeah.
we got quite a number of people here from the Royal Newfoundland Yacht Club in St. John's, and you can ask them, and is like no other.
Yeah.
There's so many islands, there's so much shelter.
Well, great sailing.
You can go at any time.
Yeah.
Winds don't really make a big difference in our bay.
Yeah. Brian, thanks for this.
Thank you.
All right, and good luck now. I know you got an appointment, so thanks. I appreciate you making time.
Always make time for it. if we can get a plug for the marina, I'll
There you go. Deadly.
Thank you.
All right, Krista Freak, Mayor Freak, come back in for a second now. How's the summer going here in town?
Summer in town has been very busy. The weather, of course, has been beneficial, but as Haley and I were chatting earlier, tourism in Lewisport really started a little early this year, which has been beneficial to businesses like hers or Stacy's or Greg Feltham, who's also a part of this tourism destination group. I think, the marina has been extremely busy because boat owners, there's more boats out of that yard this year than I've seen in, I don't know how many years, Brian, but certainly...
Park there, there's a nice collection right there. Like coming in, I was like, okay, that's a nice collection of boats there right now.
Yeah,
So.
and there's a big collection that are out sailing around
Yeah,
somewhere.
well, exactly,
so
right? Out
it,
doing the stuff, the whole
yeah.
reason why you have a boat.
Absolutely, and as Haley said, she's had people from all walks of life here this year, and so we're glad to see that. Our municipal park is very busy this year. I think there was a waiting list for seasonal sites, and certainly the rest of the park is very busy with people who are fairly local and then people from away. I think we've seen the traffic around the boardwalk and the train park trail has been very busy. So we're glad to see those people visiting Lewisport. We have accommodations through Stacy's business and Greg's. There's glamping units at the park now, so there's lots happening. Come from away is not far, so we see people visiting and taking in that attraction. So from my perspective, and I think the rest would agree, is Lewisport has been very busy and it's been very positive. And for those who visit once, they're likely to return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I did drive, when we're driving in, and we're talking about looking at the Great Marina, and we're talking about stopping in here, I drove by an empty building that looked like it could have been a bank at some point. Tell me about it.
Well, we all know the bank is empty and
Yeah.
it is for sale and that we don't own it.
Yeah?
I think you would have seen somewhere along the way a briefing that we're not entirely happy with our communications with Scotiabank.
Yeah.
We do have a downtown business plan, and having an empty building or someone purchase a building and leave it empty or store junk in the parking lot, is not what we want to see, and so
No, it's
we
kind of the
will-
opposite of like town beautification and progress
absolutely.
to have something sit empty. Sure.
And we're
I
in a
see that.
position where we've purchased the 2 old churches here, where we have a new museum and up and coming new performance space where our dinner theater will eventually happen, and Scotiabank is across the street, so we want that to be a part of that package in some way. So we'll continue to pursue Scotiabank.
So how, in pursuing this type of a thing, how do you do that? Like where's the pressure, the leverage to kind of get action, to get stuff to change? Like what's involved?
I think from our perspective, we've argued that for 80 plus years, we helped brand Scotiabank. It was here that long. Our customer base certainly promoted the services they provided, and it was a very busy bank. And so I think they owe us a little bit of something. So that's our greatest argument, as well as indicating, a part of our downtown plan, they should be in a position to support us.
So then, moving back to the tour, so that's economic development and looking at this part of the Main Street area, getting Lewisport in the conversation with like Bonavista, Twillingate, and these types of places. Where do you things need to go with the progress that is happening right now?
I think we need to share tourism. I guess that would be the message from our perspective. Is that
Yeah, you look back, everyone's nodding, so
yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty
we kind
good.
of had this conversation.
Yeah.
It's not about Lewisport versus Twillingate or Lewisport
No,
versus Bonavista. It is look at the collective experience here. If you stay in Lewisport, you can go to Twillingate, vice versa. And what do you have to offer? Come and stay for 3 or 4 days and do it all. Our dinner theater this year is, as Betty will indicate, as part of the Heritage Society, is the best I've seen here in 10 years. It's phenomenal, will blow you out of the water, and everybody should come see it. So come and stay and do that. Then you can drive down Route 340 and stop at Kinden's there, and Chelsea's Fish and Chips, and move on to Twillingate, so there is a lot to experience here, and that's the goal here, is to promote that and encourage people to visit Central and look at all of it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the driving is really scenic around here.
We got lovely pavement too in all kinds of areas. So
We drove over
holy,
some of that fresh pavement
holy.
on the way in. And
So
look,
come along.
I don't use the word luxurious very often.
No.
But, oh my gosh.
But I'm sure being on a motorcycle now, leaving Lewisport to go to Twillingate, is a far different experience than it was, 5 years ago.
If
So
only there was a magazine
Yeah.
about luxury, you could
5
put
weeks
the
ago, that's right.
asphalt in
Yeah.
it.
So
It's,
we would like
pretty
to
good.
share the experience. Really,
Yeah.
it's not about. We recognize that all of these areas have unique opportunities to experience. I don't know whether you're whale watching or you're looking for an iceberg or you want to stop here and have the best coffee and the best flaky. I don't know about the rest, but if you haven't had the flaky, you need to do that.
Well, Amanda Gear's birthday's coming up, so now they have flakies. Remember that growing up as kids?
Well, that's terrible, isn't it?
Right, this
But
is
anyway, there is no
on-air
flaky like
workplace
this
harassment.
one, okay?
What?
There is no flaky like this one, so
So
you
we're
know.
going to come over and try
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you should.
And I appreciate, this conversation started in St. John's,
Yes.
so I appreciate you continuing
We'll
with it,
continue.
'cause I told you we'd make it to town.
Yeah.
We had to.
Come again.
We will.
Who's up next now? If you need
I
me,
don't
I'll
know.
stand
Who's up?
by.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done. I'm going to sit down.
I'll
Let's bring
stand
Haley.
by.
Let's bring Haley back into the conversation. Any thought? So we're having this tourism conversation.
Yeah,
Any thoughts on
yeah.
what Mayor Freak was saying to build on for where things need to
Definitely.
go?
So that's one of our main goals that we talked about when we were building our constitution with the Lewisport Tourism Action Committee is what can we do to keep going on what's already built here. We have the town, they do so much. We have the Chamber of Commerce that does a lot as well. But what can we do that solely focuses on tourism? So some of our goals include more networking for businesses to work together, to create travel offers together, to really bring the feel of community over competition to town. The more we're working together, the more success we're going to have, especially economically here. To build that, to have packages put together of everything to do here, whether it be online, virtually, or actually tangible things, because a lot of our tourism is 55 plus. So tangible things are just as important as virtual. Networking opportunities, like I mentioned, there's a lot of different grant fundings and stuff that we can get. So we're looking into different opportunities for funding to do some more projects that we're kind of brainstorming right now. So there's so much potential, there's so much opportunity. The more we work together, the more we'll see it through. And yeah, we're excited to show people why Lewisport needs to be a destination for you. And like Mayor Freak said, we're central to everything in Central. We are, we've always said it, we're central to everything in Central. You can stay here in Lewisport and see Fogo, Twillingate, go to Come From Away, go to Grand Falls, Lumsden Beach, and make those all day trips. So we're central to everything in Central, and yeah, we're going to show kind of people why you need to be here.
And when you run a place, how important is having a good staff?
Good staff is wonderful. We have the best staff here. I'll forever sing their praises. We got pictures of all the fun we've had on the walls. We haven't hired in probably about like 3 to 4 years. Lily has been here since the get-go, since our first summer opened. So, we've seen you through high school and through university now, a lot of our students. We have a chef that works here on staff, Chef Shannon. She's too shy to come out, but
she did give an airwave there, which is pretty good. Thank you, Chef Shannon.
Yeah, it is very important, and I mean, we've always felt like family, and even on, they come back for Christmas, they come back for the end of summers. We've invited all our staff back. Every time we've had a staff party, it doesn't matter if it's staff, past, or present, they've all come back and we've all joined together. So we've definitely built like a family community here, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, step on in for a second. What's it been like working here for the last few years?
Good. I mean, I really like it. I mean, I keep coming back for Visitor Expo. I like that. I think I always tell people like my favorite thing is that like we're all like friends. Like it doesn't really feel like. I mean, obviously, like Haley's my boss, but like Haley's also she's my friend. Like if I have a bad day, like I can come in and like they've really helped me through like tough times and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yeah, definitely family vibe here, for sure.
And are you from here?
I am. My family lives here.
So you grew up here, and you also going through university, right? So come back here for summers,
yes,
is it?
yeah.
And remind me, what are you studying?
I study medieval studies and religious studies. I'm a double major at MUN.
Okay, and so the life plans after this?
I'm hoping to go on and be a professor and
Wow.
teach.
All right, very interesting. So so this has been for you, helping through bills and student stuff, coming back home each summer, working here, then going back to university and coming back. And you're just graduated or graduating?
Graduating this year.
This year?
Yeah.
Okay, so might be running towards the end of the coffee shop experience?
Yeah.
Don't remind
I
me,
won't
because
say it.
I
I won't
cry
say it.
at the end of every
That's
single.
true.
Don't
She
I
does.
bawl my
She
eyes
does.
out at the end of it. Lily got hired. It was funny. She was standing in line for a coffee, and I was like, "Can
Really?
you work?"
Yeah.
Like,
That's a good.
Yeah.
So wait, I want Lily. So Lily, tell me this story from your perspective.
So I
Sorry.
guess so. My friends and I would come after school because I mean the high school is just like up the road.
The very best school in the province.
Yes. She was my principal, so yes.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah,
forgot.
and my dad works at the high school, so we would like walk down, and my dad would just like pick us up afterwards. And so I'm standing in line, I guess, and Haley comes up behind me, and she like leans over and she like whispers in my ear. She's like, "Do you want a job here?" I was like, "What?"
I'm here for coffee.
And I was like,
She didn't realize I meant like in
I
5
was
minutes.
Like for real?
We need help.
It's like for real, and then I talked to my parents, and they were, and Georgia, she worked here at the time. She was like, "You just look like you should work at a coffee shop," and so then I started working here, and that's like the whole story.
I love that story. That is so good.
Yeah, I always tell people like I've never made a resume.
Yeah.
I've never.
Right? You just go stand up places and people offer you
People offer
jobs.
me jobs,
Like,
And
that
yeah.
is pretty
everyone
good.
who's ever gotten a job here, like I'm horrible for setting anybody up for success because my interviews are just vibe checks. Like we just sit down and we vibe with each other.
Stand in the line.
Yeah, she always just, she comes in and she asks me, she's like, "Do you know them from school?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know Julia from school." Like,
Yeah. So
I like the
that's kind of-
system.
Yeah, it's worked so far. So
Yeah.
it's worked so far.
Well,
Yeah.
nice meeting you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking time to have a chat on the show. All right, I love that story. That was so
Yeah,
good.
it's fantastic. So
All right, folks, you're listening to The Signal. In case you can't tell from the sound in the background, the sound in the background doesn't mean that we're live in Lewisport. We're live at Kinden's Bakery and Café, which is the sound you're hearing here for the show today. We're talking about tourism. We're talking about economic development. I think I'm going to bring Stacey Reed into the conversation now, because when we stop in the places, right, we're talking about a coffee shop, we're talking to the mayor, we're talking to employees, and then we've got a hotel owner. Tell us about your hotel.
Hi, my name is Stacy. Yes, our family has a hotel, restaurant, bar. We have 34 rooms and a full-fledged restaurant with every home-cooked meal you could think of.
Oh, okay. Tell
Yeah.
us so what's on the menu here? Home cooked meals.
All right, yeah. So like today is a Thursday.
Yeah.
Jig's dinner is
There you
on
go.
Thursdays. Yes, right. So it's the most traditional, yeah. Yesterday was our fish and chips.
Excellent.
Big seller. Everyone comes on Wednesdays for the fish and chips. Not just
Amazing.
Lewisport. everywhere. Yeah.
Like regionally, this is a known thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Very, very cool. How long have you been in the hospitality industry?
We've had it around 12 to 13 years now.
Right,
We
okay.
always, as a family, my father always wanted to open up a restaurant or, a hotel type thing. It was a dream of his.
Yeah.
So he went and done it, and along with me helping him,
Yeah.
we're still at it.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
wow. What's the rebound then been? So you're doing this over the years, then all of a sudden this, I don't know if folks know, but a pandemic hit, and then we all had to kind of bounce away from that. What's it been like in the years as we've reopened and got back to business?
Yes, yeah. So the pandemic, yeah. So we had to close the restaurant. Our rooms was very limited. So yeah, you were seeing maybe 1 or 2 guests a night, if.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, we had to get back through the pandemic, and function the way we used to before.
Yeah.
Go back to the old ways. It's only now in the last year it's increased. Yeah,
So how's business going for you this summer?
perfect. We couldn't be
Excellent.
more busier. We're happy as can be. Our hotel is usually full every night.
Yeah.
Our restaurant has actually been crazy busy. So
Wow.
we're really proud of how it's going this season.
That's a great season then.
Yes, and we just done a bus tour.
Yeah.
And that's something.
Is it the Americans or who was it?
This one was from Nova Scotia.
Okay.
And as soon as they entered Lewisport, before they come to the hotel, they drive down through Lewisport.
Yeah.
And what are they happy about? The fresh pavement. They were one of the first to cross it. So yeah, they loved it, and they loved to drive past the marina.
Yeah.
But that's something else we need in our town, is focus to get these bus tours in here.
Yeah.
To show them what we got. Don't stay overnight and go to another town. Come into our dinner theater. Come down to the marina, take a tour. Go up to the bus up at the beginning of Lewisport where the train is due, Beautiful trail there. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
People
so
just don't know what they're missing here in
Yeah,
Lewisport.
and so it's just this active work that is going on to get Lewisport on the map for people to know,
Absolutely.
hey, so we got one bus tour. You folks, I mean, from the fresh pavement to the marina and the great food and everything else, but it's just about getting people to understand it's all there.
Yeah, we have so much to offer. We got to get out and broadcast it more, and we're ready. Me and Haley and a bunch of us, we're ready to conquer this, show what Lewisport's all about.
That's so cool. So what would you like to see then in, like, if I say 5 years' time?
5 years' time, I would love to see downtown Lewisport develop.
Right.
That's always been a thing. I grew up in Lewisport. From Lewisport, I went away for school, moved right back to Lewisport. Downtown was the spot, right? You love to go downtown, and
Like as a kid going to wherever
Yeah.
downtown is in your community, it would feel
right?
like such a special
yes,
thing, right?
and just to see that, to show that and what we got, there's so much we can do and develop down here to get more tourists coming in and show them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
most
fantastic.
definitely.
Thanks for this chat.
No problem, and thank you. I was nervous, but
You did
you're
great.
You were great.
Oh, you're excellent. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Stacy Reed there, Brittany Inn's Hotel, Director at Destination Lewisport. Haley Kinden, I was wondering if I could ask you about COVID and the experience here at the cafe.
You sure can.
So yeah, because like you opened, like was it
2 months, I think we got shut down.
2 months? So
Yeah,
you're
so
like, "Hey,
like
we're
we
open,"
opened
and
and
then-
here's the dream, and then it was like, I remember being here and we had the TV on and we were watching, our premiere and stuff and starting to announce stuff, and we're like, this is never gonna come to Lewisport.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, we were shut down. So that was kind of, it was, the first 2-3 years open has kind of just been a whirlwind of survival. So we opened in December 2019, I think end of February, beginning of March, we got shut down. And coming from the paramedic side and into the cafe, one thing, I was head of the social club down there for a little while, and that was something I was always passionate about, was I used to go to the schools and talk to the schools, and we used to throw different events in town. So I wanted to do that giving back here. I just had to find a different way to do that as a business owner. So once COVID happened and I had some time to kind of sit and think, we started going, okay, well, now's the best time to give back to the community. So we ended up during COVID doing missions, and they started off really small. We started off just giving, coffee to essential workers. We went and bought like $1,000 worth of cards from the grocery store to just hand out randomly to people. The homes were all shut down. The seniors' homes were shut down here. So one day, me and Elliot, one of our workers, came down and we did do-it-yourself cookie kits for every senior's home in the area and brought them to the home. So they had something to do there in the home. And then that kind of just started to escalate. And I was like, at one point I was like, what can we do to get outside the community? So we ended up doing a mission. It was my favorite one we did during COVID, and it was a nationwide COVID give back. So what we did was we called a different bakery and cafe. We researched a different bakery and cafe in every single province and territory across Canada. And we called them up and we said, hey, we want to order a gift box from you, and we want it delivered to a local first responder unit. So we did that in every single province and territory all over Canada. And so it's funny because you can see the sign up there for it. A lot of the bakeries and cafes, we still follow each other. We still chat with each other online. We had calls from the RCMP in Nunavut to the Calgary Police Department, the Calgary Fire Department. So that's something we kind of had in the back of mind. We're going to do it again. That was a really fun kind of thing we did to give back. So,
that's really cool.
And that kind of, not only did we just kind of stayed down here. We pushed through it. Lily was with me through the whole thing, and Julia came on the next year. And every shutdown, it was just, okay, what can we do to get through this? And yeah.
I think it shows a lot for, the giving side of it, but then if you have a coffee shop, bakery,
Yeah.
and a community, it's leadership around a community presence, and it shows folks who you are
100%.
as a person
Yeah,
and
definitely.
as a team group
Yeah,
too,
as a
right?
team, yeah. For
Which
sure.
is
for
so
sure.
and
yeah.
neat. And so then now, as things have opened up more,
Yeah.
what's the community response been to your business with the opening up?
The community
Because
support.
it's been super busy here all day,
Oh my
so
goodness, yes,
like
it's
it's
wonderful.
kind of
It's
nuts.
such a blessing to be busy. The community support has been tremendously positive. I'm so very grateful. I don't even have the words to say how grateful and humble I am over the support we've had. A lot of cafes like ours have to close in the off season. We're open year round.
Yeah, that surprised me when you said that earlier.
We are open year round. We do close, we don't have the 7 days a week in the fall, but we do usually open Wednesday to Saturdays. We're usually still very busy. The business community here supports us, especially at lunchtime in the fall. We also do custom cakes here.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not busy out front, we're busy in the back.
Yeah.
And last year, Chef Shannon and we got into doing private caterings as well down here. We'll do 3-course private events. We do a lot of collaboration with Adam Baxter, one of the musicians here in town, for youth events here. We do open mics here and music events here. We've done 3-course dinner and musics with Anna and Eric from the Citadel House. We're constantly coming up with new ideas and stuff, and I believe that is a testament to the team effort we have here to kind of push through the winter times, and it's been
Wow.
wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for that.
No
I'm
problem.
you can bring it back again before the end of the show.
Yeah, no sweat.
We've got, 15 odd minutes left. I wouldn't mind talking about heritage. If only Betty Clark was here to talk to me about heritage and also being mayor before and then where things are headed. If only this was possible. Let me look around. Oh, Betty Clark is here, obviously. Hello. Are you okay?
It's easy to know heritage, yes, I'm old.
You gotta watch out with those chairs. Jeez. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, other than your knee, you're good. Yeah, everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
Talk to me. Well, so it's the Lewisport Heritage Society, right?
Pardon?
You're with the Lewisport Heritage Society.
Mm-hmm.
What does the Heritage Society do?
Okay, I'm only on it now the last couple of years, but right now we're working with the town.
Mm-hmm.
They bought 2 new buildings, a new museum and the church building that's going to be turned into a culture center.
Right
I
on.
can't say arts and culture center. It could be a different name to it. But the museum is up and running, and also the Hens Point Dinner Theater. Best one in Newfoundland. I was there last night, and Patsy Cline did life, and her singing, the girl, the Cora Boyd.
Core Boy, right on.
Excellent. I got to say, it's the best heritage dinner theater in Newfoundland right now.
There you go. All right, get that message
And
out.
hopefully, what we're looking for, what we want to do is, because since COVID and the old building, we had some problems with that. The town couldn't do it up costly and whatever. Anyhow, with the new building coming up, we're hoping to have all year round events, get some outside talent come in and showcase their whatever. And also have dinner theaters during the Christmas season and stuff like that, and work with the youth of the town, because we have a lot of youth here that are excellent singers. Haley's son is one. He's really good, and we're hoping we've got a basement and we got a top over in the new building, and we're hoping to have that for open mic for the different teenagers who want to come in. There's a whole range of things that we were planning on doing for the Heritage Society. Now, the 12th of August this year, we got a grant from the provincial government to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Confederation. So everyone in town or outside of town is welcome over there on the 12th, 11 o'clock in the morning until 2:30. We're going to have music, food, meet and greet, and whoever wants to come, certainly come on.
And last question for you. Well, second last question. Remind me when you were mayor, like what years were you mayor for before?
When I was mayor,
Roughly.
I was mayor from 89 to 97 and 2017 to 21.
Okay.
And then I gave it up.
So yeah, got it out of your
Pass it
system,
over.
right? You passed it over.
I got-
right?
I got it in my system,
Yeah. To look at from your time as mayor and to see like everything that this community has gone through over the years, COVID included, like where it's headed now. What are your thoughts on just where things are with the plans that are being put in place?
Well, back in the day, in the 90s, I found it very easier then to be mayor than I was in the last time. And that's when the marina was developed down here back in 93, 94. When
Right,
you
right.
know. And we got $2.2 million from ACOA to put that there. Free money.
Yeah.
So at that time was great. And was other things. We built the town hall here during that time. But I found that the 4 years I was on the last was more work. Was a lot more work, and we didn't get as much done. And I'll be quite honest, dealing with government is not very fast. I'll tell you that
I've
much.
heard that rumor from time to time.
I tell you, they're not very fast. There's things that we could be done, and I'm sure Krista would agree with me, that if they were a bit more upfront and gave us more what we're looking for quicker, not wait 4 years before we can get stuff off the ground. It took 4 years when the coastal vessel left here back in 2018, and basically is only now. We've been working with government, well, when I was here, till 21, and now this is 24, and it's only coming to fruition now,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So I think government got to be better to the communities,
Yeah,
or
you're
to the
saying, like,
mayors and the councillors.
Fewer hurdles, less red tape, make it so things can actually happen. When promises or discussions are had and made, it's like, okay, well, let's have this happen sooner rather than
Right.
later. And get rid of anything that's impeding that is what you're saying.
But the red tape you got to go through was unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, the town bought that building over there, and that was last year. It's not ready yet. They haven't gone through all the red tape yet to get it started.
Yeah. And you're like, well, no, this should be ready to go and good to go.
And Hans Point is another thing that we're working on, because that's during the war. The soldiers were down there protecting the oil tanks for the base in Gander, or the military in Gander. So we're working on that now along with the town and doing up a proposal to get that done.
Betty Clark, thanks for this. Appreciate the chat. I think we have a late edition. Haley, who do we is this someone I'm going to talk to?
Yes, this is Mrs. Marilyn Kinden of Treats from the Sea.
Come on down.
Yeah,
We want a tourist hot spot, one of the hottest spots in town. With the how big is your lobster? The one outside.
26 foot.
26-foot lobster.
Yeah, I was using my spidey senses. I was like, I think this is one of our guests who's coming in. Either that, or I'll just talk to Haley for the next 7 minutes.
Cons of having a business.
Oh, hey,
Just
no,
gotta go.
I appreciate you just making any amount of time to come in.
Well,
Tell us about
listen,
tell us more about your
I
business.
didn't get a ticket, so you're lucky. I flew. I literally flew in. With this hot weather, our freezer just gave out, and I had to go.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, don't you
take
worry.
this as
It's
as
all
an
good.
insult. Yous were the last on
Yeah,
my mind.
I'd be the last thing on my mind too,
Yeah.
with that kind of thing going on. Tell everyone more about your business.
Well, we own Kinden's Treats from the Sea Lobster Pool, along with Chelsea's Fish and Chips, and also incorporated into that is the roadside fish truck, Treats from the Sea, that goes to Gander and Grand Falls.
Yeah.
And we've been doing this since the 1980s. And now it's one of the top spots now in Central for people to visit and get their picture. Our Biggie lobster has been literally all over the world.
Yeah.
In magazines everywhere. We get steady pictures from updates from people showing that, we're like the Down-Omer. We're getting around.
Yeah. So from the 80s to now, how different is business operating now than when you first started?
It's busier.
Yeah.
It's a lot busier. This year, not possibly, definitely it will be a stellar year for us.
Yeah.
The tourists this year, unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And the tourists have been showing up over, our way. We're in an absolutely fantastic location because the most of the tourists are heading to Tullingate and Full Island.
They got to drive by your
And
spot.
they got to drive by us. And
We saw it on the way over, right? We're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
yeah, well, if you didn't see the lobster, you need your
Something wrong.
glasses changed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, and Chelsea's has really, really come a long ways from a little chip wagon to what it is today. It's really, really grown to be one of the hot spots for people. We just had a gentleman, it's just a couple quick stories. We had a family from Ontario. They came by last year and they passed by our place. Now, I don't know if we weren't open at that particular time because early June, we don't open till every day till after the second, third week of June.
Yeah.
So he might have come by then, or he might have been when we shut down for the season. But he made it a point that this year he actually came to Lewisport, spent 3 nights in the Island Villa, just so he could go with his family to Chelsea's. And they were over there 3 days, dinner and supper.
There you go.
3 days in a row. And when he left, he came in to tell us goodbye, and he said, "We'll see you next year."
Wow.
And another story is a guy on a cab in New York City. And one of his customers that day was in the back talking to him and said, we're going to Newfoundland for Canada for a holiday. And he said, well, if you're going to Newfoundland, you gotta go to this place in Central, Chelsea's Fish and Chips. And him and his family literally came there and stayed in the area. And they visited, like they went everywhere, Fogo and 20, but always came back every single night to stop and have lobster, crab, and mussels.
And it's because of the cab driver's recommendation.
The cab
in New York.
driver's recommendation
I knew they
in New
had
York
good caddies
City.
there, but that's
Yeah.
that's really something.
Yeah, it's,
I love that story.
That's just a couple of so many stories.
That's so good.
Yeah.
We're almost at time for the show. Last question for you. What do you want to see here for whether it's tourism, business development? What do you want to see to keep things pushing in this direction that you're describing?
Definitely need help with government. Everything we've done, with everything that we've done over the years, there's never been any government funding. It's we've lucked out.
Yeah.
It seems like the middleman don't get the help as what the bigger guys do.
So some injection
And
there would be
COVID
helpful.
really hurt big time.
Yeah.
Really hurt. But if government could come in and help with tourism and that, Lewisport got a lot to offer. A lot.
I appreciate you stopping by. Thank
Not
you
a
so much.
problem.
All right, folks, we're winding down the show here. One last word from Haley. Haley, we're going to go out on a song by a local person who I think you know, Adam Baxter.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Which one is it? Kicking.
By the Fire.
Oh, that one's good too.
All right, folks. I was like kicking by the fire this morning. It shows by the fire.
Kicking by the fire.
Kicking by the fire. Here's Adam, the one, the only Adam Baxter. After this song, it's Paris 2024, folks. We've got a tape show tomorrow because we're still on the road. Trivia Day, everyone, will be Wednesday instead. So for all you trivia folks, Wednesday, Regatta Day, special trivia. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming out. We are so happy to show you everything we have to offer.
Bye-bye.